Some places call to you, not with words, but with wind in the trees, waves crashing on stone, and trails that disappear into the mist. Oregon is one of those places. And that summer, we answered the call. Our journey started where water carves its story into basalt. The Eagle Creek Trail is more than just a path. It's a climb through canyon echoes, fern-laced air, and the roar of ancient waterfalls. There are places here where the trail disappears, not into the earth, but through it. Tunnel Falls is one of them. You don't just watch this waterfall, you walk through the heart of it. The stone above you, thunder beside you, and for a moment, you're a part of something really magical. A living pulse carved into the rock. You could stay here all day, let the mist wrap around you, let time slip, but camp is still miles ahead, and our daylight was already slipping away. After miles of trail and the roar of the falls still echoing in our ears, we reached 7 Mile Camp. Tucked behind the river, wrapped in moss and quiet, it felt like the forest itself was offering us shelter. The rush of the water, the scent of cedar, the soft hush of wind through the ferns. This kind of place just doesn't need words. Just a fire, really tired legs, and the sound of your heartbeat slowly sinking into the wild. For me, there's always going to be something incredibly humbling and peaceful about the stillness of the forest. As the light began to fade, the forest took a deep breath with us. Night came softly under a canopy of moss and stars, and by morning, the forest felt washed in silence, as if it too had been resting. We packed up slowly, boots heavy but our hearts full, ready for whatever the trail had planned next. Our adventure took us to where water meets the ocean, where the Columbia River has shaped stone, wind, and history over the ages. Out here, we moved through a land forged by fire and water. Between towering cliffs and the skies stretched wide, we slid into the current, small beneath the weight of it all. And just like that, the calm didn't last forever. The river just became alive, moving faster, increasing its strength, and testing how much we've learned. We watched the boulders, felt the current shift, and started to understand the language of the water. It was almost clear enough to read, fish darting below us, the riverbed slipping past like glass. Every twist had something new, from whitewater surges to sudden drops and bald eagles perched like sentinels in the trees above. We began applying what we've learned, using the shape of rocks and flow lines to pick our path, adjusting course with instinct and timing. It wasn't just paddling anymore, it was navigating, and every rapid we passed felt like a small victory. As the sun dipped behind the cliffs, the river slowed with us. We floated in silence, carried only by the rhythm of the waves. Daylight was fading, night rising, and everything around us just settling into stillness. It was the kind of quiet you don't forget. Pacific Ocean and the Columbia River come together, we chase giants beneath the waves. Sturgeon, prehistoric, powerful, reminded us the Pacific Ocean is never quiet. It's alive, with stories older than we can fathom. They call it the dinosaur of the deep, and the fight lives up to its name. Sturgeon can grow to over 10 feet long, weigh hundreds of pounds, and when they hit the line, it's all out war. You don't just reel them in, you earn every second. It's a battle of patience, strength, and just pure chaos. Wild runs, rod-bending pulls, and the moment when the water explodes and this prehistoric giant breaks the surface. One jump, and you're locked in. Minutes stretch into hours, adrenaline never lets up, and when it finally comes both sides, you realize just how lucky you are to meet a creature that's been here longer than we have. Out here, the ocean and bays teach you to slow down. It's not just about the catch. It's about reading the tides, feeling the rhythm, and waiting for the right moment. Sturgeon fishing isn't a sprint. It's a conversation between strength and stillness, between time and instinct, and a lot of patience. You could spend hours out here, chasing shadows beneath the surface, and you'd still come back with more than you expected. Moments of quiet, bursts of adrenaline, and a connection to something older than memory. None of it would have happened without our amazing guides. They were seasoned, steady, and completely dialed into the water, and just amazing humans. They didn't just get us on the fish. They showed us how to listen, how to read the drift, and how to respect the wild. By the end, it wasn't just about landing a fish. It was about being part of a story that's been unfolding across these waters for centuries. So after hauling up over 1,000 pounds of fish, that last 150-pounder felt like dragging a freight train with a fishing rod. My arms, my body, it was just so tired. I was zero help and literally fighting for my life to pick up this fish. So one by one, we released the sturgeon back into the bay, still full of fight, just disappearing beneath the surface. The ocean calmed, the lines were reeled in, and we let the moment settle. With the salt still on our skin and the sound of the water in our heads, we turned towards the next chapter of the journey, not knowing what we'd find, but ready for whatever came next. The coast is a mood, with wind-blown cliffs and crashing surf and tide pools where galaxies of life wait to be discovered. Every step reveals a new secret. It's written in the barnacles, the sea anemones, and the shifting fog. The trail winds through twisted pines and moss-covered stone, climbing just enough to catch your breath, and steal it too. Each bend opens up a new view, from jagged sea stacks to mist in the trees to the endless push and pull of the tide below. It's the kind of hike that slows you down in the best way, reminding you that sometimes the smallest places, tide pools, trails, quiet overlooks, hold the biggest sense of wonder. We caught the coast at low tide, when the ocean pulls back just far enough, revealing the life underneath. Surfers carved out quiet lines in the waves, chasing the early light. Above them, bald eagles circled the cliffs while black oyster catchers picked their way across the rocks, rare and bold, with bright orange bills and voices that echoed through the cove. The beach isn't just a stretch of sand, it's a hidden world, a cove sculpted by tide and time, where cliffs rise like cathedrals and every sound feels part of something ancient. In the heart of the forest, Silver Falls whispers in 10 cascading voices, 10 waterfalls you can explore on your journey. Here, the trail leads you behind the falls themselves, so close you can taste the mist. On 2 wheels or by foot, this place really humbles you. Silver Falls felt like stepping into a storybook, where waterfalls spill from cliffs like turning pages, and the trail winds behind walls of falling water. We camped among the towering trees, biked the forest paths, and let the rhythm of the falls just reset something in us. It was wild, quiet, and just deeply grounding. But Oregon isn't just forests and trails, it's also bridges, bikes, food carts, and color. We packed up camp, shook the mud off our boots, and headed towards the city, ready to trade pine needles for pavement and see what Portland had to offer. Portland moves at its own pace. One best experience on 2 wheels or 2 feet, because this is a pedestrian city, built and made for wandering. With over 400 miles of bikeways and more than a dozen bridges spanning the Willamette River, it's easy to go from one side of the city to the other without even getting in a car. Each district has its own flavor: the vintage charm of Hawthorne, the industrial pulse of the Pearl, the artsy soul of Alberta, and the food truck playgrounds tucked between it all. And above all, if you look up on a clear day, you'll spot volcanoes on the horizon, Mount Hood rising sharp and snow-capped to the east, and even a glimpse of Mount St. Helens and Rainier. It's a city that blends grit and greenery, creativity and chaos, all with a sense of pride. Biking through it, you don't just see Portland, you feel it. In the murals, the coffee stream, the alleyway jazz, the quiet moments in between intersections, and somewhere between the bridges and the bike racks, it starts to feel like a place you've known for a long time. There's so much charm to the city of poets. Some write with words, others with murals and music, or just the simple act of showing up as they are. It's a place that makes room for the weird, the wild, and the beautifully in between. And after taking in its color, creativity, and motion, we felt full, ready to trade skyline for shoreline. We turned our wheels west, chasing open sky and ocean air, towards the sound of the waves, the salt in the breeze, and in the quiet ending waiting on the coast. We ended the journey where land gives way to the ocean, and the night feels endless. A stretch of beach and our pile of wood and a few practiced hands was all it took. The coastal breeze fought us at first, snatching the sparks and scattering the warmth. But with patience and shelter from the wind, the flame caught. We built our fire below the tide line, dug into the sand where it could burn low and safe. Just enough heat to warm our toes and toast to a few memories.
having our coffee.
Cheers.
Along the shoreline, other fires flickered like little constellations, glowing spots where strangers became quiet neighbors. Above us, the moon hung heavy over Haystack Rock, lighting up the waves like a silver heartbeat. The tide rolled in slow, and for a moment, time rolled with it. There's something about a fire on the beach, and as the last flames faded into embers, we knew this was more than just the end of a trip. It was a pause we'll carry with us long after the coast disappeared into the rear view.